Welcome to UNCAGED. Today we're speaking with Mohammed Wassim Khayata. Mohammed is the founder and CEO of Maryah Community Bank. It is the first independent digital bank in the MENA region, in the Middle East region, North Africa region. The whole space of digital banking has really expanded dramatically. A lot of people were at Money 2020, and this was a big topic that a lot of folks were talking about. So I'm excited to learn about what Mohammed and his team are building. But before we get there, Mohammed, tell us a little bit about you and your career.
So basically, I'm an economist and I did masters in banking and finance. So the dissertation was about using technology to create a nervous system to the body of the bank to sense environment, to maintain existence and growth. So I worked with the biggest banks here, local banks, National Bank of Abu Dhabi. Then I moved to First Gulf Bank, which is the Royal Family Bank. Then I started Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank. They started Finance House. Now I started Maryah Community Bank, capturing on the experience. And it's very exciting project here. We have, it has been now 2.5 years. The bank is already proven, and it has more than 170,000 customers. We already broke even, and the future is exciting.
It is very exciting, and I'm really pleased to hear that this type of innovation is expanding across the region. But, tell me a little bit more about the Maryah story. I mean, it's always great to speak with founders, being a founder myself, from that ideation, that idea to the early stages to now where you are today, as well as obviously you grew the company through the pandemic period, which is probably one of the most challenging moments that we've all lived through. Tell me a little bit about that journey.
The most important thing we had, as in anything, you need to define the purpose, why we are doing this, first of all. So our purpose is not digital, it's not only being on the cloud. The first purpose is to serve the community. So we're called Maryah Community Bank, not digital bank. So what is a community bank? A community bank is a bank that would look into important aspects of the community to develop, starting from kids, who are the most important component of the future of any country. So getting financial inclusion to your kids, encourage them to save before they spend, stop spoiling your kids by just giving them money, candies, etc. So it starts from there. And the community is basically to encourage savings and investments and make people aware of various investments going on, treasury, bonds, how is that to crypto, what's Bitcoin, what's not Bitcoin, how you can save your assets, how you don't lose your assets, like putting something on a platform that could go bankrupt. And the third community aspect is to be able to get the do's and don'ts with banks, how you talk to banks, whether you are an individual or you are a small business or a corporate. So the community aspect is the most important. We're using technology and digital to make sure we're cost efficient. By being cost efficient, we're providing all our services free of cost. So there are no annual charges, monthly charges. There are no minimum balance charges, no hidden fees. So ethics is what makes us a community bank. And we have seen a big demand, a big success of such honest, transparent, straightforward, easy customer experience plays a role with the transformation of banks to blockchain technology, which helps you to get low cost transactions with some reliable targets and objectives for our customers. So the purpose is the most important thing. So what we did is also we did not rely heavily on third-party systems like the traditional banks. They rely on core banking. We started our own application, which orchestrates the customer service experience with back-end system, whether it's the core banking, customer service, CRM, trade finance, card management, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a brief of Maryah Community Bank, and this is why we are here today.
I really love that. I mean, I think about the banking experiences that I've had throughout my own career and remember back when I was a child when banks were very community oriented and going when I was I think 7 years old to set up my junior banker account and things like that. And I truly feel like we've lost that. And that's a real miss. It's a real miss on so many levels for every region of the world. One, because I think often we forget that the majority of business is local. It's small to medium sized businesses that drive the true reality of our economy. And so I really, really love what you're building here, Mohammed. I wish that the NA stood for North America, not just North Africa, but maybe in the future. But I mean, tell me a little bit about where we are in I'd say, maturation of something like a digital banking construct. What are the types of solutions and services that your customers are embracing today?
So most important is opening an account seamlessly. So you don't have to go through a tedious process with KYC, compliance, and complexity. So that's number one. Provide cards, payments, also with no problems, no obstacles. On top of this, get your checkbook, get your payments, do installments, buy now, pay later. And for companies, we do working capital finance, trade finance, corporate credit. So we do full-fledged banking A to Z, and we made sure in order for us to do this seamlessly and with a spirit of a fintech rather than a bank. So we have changed the classical organizational structure of banks. Like, for example, traditional, you have the head of retail, the head of corporate. Each one will have product development, sales, monitoring differently. But what we've done is that we have a separate product team that sits away from sales and service. So you can push the right product to the sales team. The sales team have all the right to say, look, this product doesn't work. This is what competition is about. Customers don't like this and like this. And then you can evaluate the product development team if they're providing the right product. So this is what we do today. So it's a full bank. You have international payments also through partners. So what we have done is that we did not reinvent the traditional services like transfers, everything. We've
Right.
also capturing experience platform where we connect through API and we provide this through an easy, simplified customer experience, and people liked it.
Wonderful. Well, listen, I'm going to change gears a little bit here, Mohammed. It's a blessing to have something like Community Bank move into this digital sphere. And I think that that's a great, great construct. But I always try to understand what drives people's passions for what they do. Where did this start? If I use a very American phrase, what gets you up in the morning to continue building Al Maryah Community Bank?
First of all, is the purpose. I mean, every one of us is born for a purpose, and it's important for us to identify this purpose. Why I think I'm here. Once the purpose is defined, I think one should know how should he or she fulfill this purpose. And the most important thing is to make yourself surrounded with the right people. So choosing the team, choosing the people is one of the most important challenges that each and every professional should think of, and make sure as you go through this journey, you go through a white heart, positive spirit. So those who are lagging behind should see that spirit. You should always believe in people, take negatives as positives, try to change it, make sure that there's a communication. The leader has to be clear, easy, humble, put simple objectives, make everybody understand the purpose, make them excited. So I think a purpose with the right team will always make you look forward to the next day where you have an achievement and you celebrate that with your colleagues.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I mean, Mohammed, we live in an ever-changing world. I mean, we went through the pandemic. We've now rolled into lovely global environment with challenges everywhere, economic challenges for sure. But, here we are on the precipice of 2024. Tell me a little bit about what you see on the horizon.
Okay, at the digital bank, we've seen changes. Like, for example, we're seeing central banks coming in and offering services. For example, in the UAE, where the head office is, the central bank has launched a payment platform. We know
Mhm.
banks today are launching CBDC, central bank digital currencies. We see that there are lots of platforms where using technology reaching out to countries that are not licensed. They're not licensed to deal with. So I think it's becoming very complex environment to choose the
Mm,
platform to bank on. So we're seeing fintechs coming out, including Apple with Apple Pay, Samsung Pay. So how do you make sure as a customer or as a client that you have the right platform with the right infrastructure? So that the most important thing is that people need to be educated to only operate and work with platforms that are regulated by their local authorities. So if I'm sitting in Spain or I'm sitting in the UK, I would think twice before I go on a platform that is licensed by Singapore, for example. And you should always ask the expert. It's like the doctor. So you try not
yeah.
to guess. That's the most important thing. And with the future, we're seeing lots of those platforms. Elon Musk said that I'm going to make X to be a super app, a super platform where you don't need a bank account. That's true. So you don't. He's going to get you the IBAN. You have your IBAN that's international, connected to his satellites, making sure the satellite sends money without
Mm.
having your regulators. So we're seeing lots of changes, lots of complexity, lots of entrepreneurs coming up with I call it crazy ideas. You have the regulators on the other side. Wait. Don't buy the Bitcoin. I don't feel good. You see, Japan regulated it. You don't
Yeah.
see Sweden has regulated it. Some countries said be careful because this is very speculative. So I think what people need today is a bank or a financial institution that is active in giving the right advice. So don't leave it to the entrepreneurs only. So you need to comment. So we've seen JP Morgan sometimes saying Bitcoin is bad. Some other times we've seen JP Morgan buying Bitcoin. So it's really very complex. It's really confusing what people should do, what people should not do, interest rates going up, bonds market coming down, stock exchange should go down, it goes up, it should go up, it goes down. So really
Yeah,
what
it's funny. You mentioned JP Morgan. I think of Jamie Dimon a lot, and he is really just a master PR personality. He'll push his employees back to the office and he'll act like it's because of productivity, but it's most likely because he has huge commercial loans that he wants to make sure that people are in their offices. You know, he won't be pro blockchain because he doesn't have a good position in it. And when he gets a good position, he suddenly becomes pro blockchain. So I mean,
this is the world we are in. I think we need to be honest. We need to be professional enough to make sure that at least we understand. And the most important thing is the language with the customers. I wouldn't really like to hire somebody who gives very complex statements and advices. I think simple
yeah.
statements, really with proper analysis. What's the difference between Bitcoin or a stable coin? I think we should be clear to our customers. We should have the right voice with
Yeah.
making people understand what's happening. So we leave it to them to decide on what to do.
Well, I mean, I love what you're doing. I'm a big believer in stable community banks bring stability and prosperity to everyone. And so they're a really critical missing piece in our whole financial structure. Mohammed, thank you so much for being on the Uncaged show today. We've been speaking with Mohammed Wassim Khayata. Mohammed, if someone wanted to learn more about what you and Maryah Community Bank are doing, where's the best place to reach you?
I think we the website. So we have mbank mbank.ae is our website. That's number one. We have our email addresses and telephone numbers. So we have a full team. We can discuss lots of ideas. We are very happy to collaborate with anyone who would have a technology to be used. So even we're very fintech friendly, crypto friendly. We'd love to see new people with new ideas to bring the best to our community.
Wonderful. Well, again, Mohammed, thank you so much for being on Uncaged. We've been speaking about the bank that Mohammed founded. He's the founder and CEO of Maryah Community Bank. It's the first independent digital bank in the Middle East, North Africa region. We've been talking about the importance of community banks, the range of services and solutions that those community banks can deliver. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thanks a lot.